Good morning, friends, and welcome to your virtual art class. Today, we are going to explore one of my favorite authors, Mo Willems. And he creates and writes all of these books about the pigeon and about Elephant and Piggy, and also another one of my favorites, the Knuffle Bunny. But this book, Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus, is one of my all-time favorites. So today, you're going to watch and listen to the read aloud that I've connected to the assignment, and you are going to follow a guided drawing process that will teach you how to create your very own pigeon. Now, one of the reasons why I love Mo Willems is because he is a very funny author. But as an illustrator, the person that draws the pictures too, one of his main goals was to create characters that were simple enough for students of all ages to draw. And that's one of the main reasons also why I love his work. All right, so let's get started. Keeping with the theme of making sure the pigeon doesn't get into something, we are going to use the same idea when we create our drawing. So here's one that I have started. You can imagine what I don't want the pigeon to do. And at the top, which is something you're going to do, you're going to write a sentence that says, don't let the pigeon blah, 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 because he will blah, blah, blah. So I wrote, don't let the pigeon paint because he will make a mess. And you can see what kind of mess has been made here. All right, so that's what mine is going to look like. Now, in order to get started, all you need is a piece of paper and a pencil. And this can be just plain white paper, it could be lined paper, it's all up to you and whatever you have access to. The other thing that I have next to me are my crayons, all right? You can use crayons or you could use marker or you could use a combination, which is something that I really like to do. So, the first thing you're going to do is towards the top of your paper, you're going to draw a circle. Your circle isn't going to be too big, it's not going to be too small. You just want to be able to draw a nice big pigeon. So here I go. I am just going to draw, I'm going to go nice and slow, and I'm drawing dark so you can see what I'm doing. But normally, when I'm making a drawing, I like to draw light until it's just right. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to draw his eye. So there's going to be a smaller circle inside of this bigger circle. And then I'm going to make an even smaller circle inside of this circle so I can make his pupil. All right, I might even make that one a little bit bigger, but for now, I'm just going to keep it. Now we're going to use the shape of the triangle to make the beak. All right, and you could make it with a line here with it open. You could add another beak down here if you wanted to, on the bottom part of his beak, but I'm just going to leave that triangle so I can keep it nice and simple. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is draw a rectangle. The pigeon has a nice long neck. So just like that, there's my pigeon's neck. And he has this little band that goes across it, just like that. Now, to make the pigeon body, you're going to make a shape called a semicircle. Semi means half, so you're going to be making a half circle. The easiest way I find to do that is by drawing a line, which is going to be the top of my circle. It almost looks like a nice big capital L here, friends. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a curve. And the line I've just drawn is telling me where to stop my curve. Now I kind of went a little bit wider, and that is A-okay because now I can connect it. And there is my semicircle right here. To make the wing, you have to make another semicircle. So again, I'm going to draw my line to tell me how big it should be. And here is my semicircle. So look how my pigeon is coming along. The feet are and legs, very long line here. And then I draw 3 smaller lines for the feet. Now, right now, it looks like my pigeon is flying. So this is where you have to kind of start making the decision about what you don't want your pigeon to do. So I did that because I wanted to draw a paintbrush under his wing. So I knew I had to do that before I started coloring everything in, particularly the pigeon's body. So from here, you just want to think about what you don't want the pigeon to get into, all right? So maybe what I'm going to say for this one is don't let the pigeon bake, all right? So over here, I've made a ground now to have the pigeon kind of, grounded so he's not floating in the air. And then up here, I'm going to make a table. Just a simple table. Just like that. It's kind of like a countertop. And on top of the table, I'm going to make a bowl. And I'm going to make a bag of flour. And I'm going to have that flour kind of tipped over. And it's going to kind of fall on the ground in a big pile. All right. I'm going to have a broken egg here. And maybe a broken egg here. So I want to add some nice detail, friends, about what I don't want the pigeon to do. All right. I'm going to put a spoon in his wing, like that. Maybe I'm going to also put a little chef's hat on him. I think that's what a chef's hat looked like. Anyway, that's what mine looks like. So down here, before I start coloring, I'm going to say, don't let the pigeon bake, because he will break all of the eggs. All right, maybe I'll make a few more eggs down here so people really get the idea. And then maybe I'll have the oozing, and there's the yolk in the middle. So if I add all these little details, it really gets people to understand why maybe the pigeon shouldn't be allowed to do those things. All right, now I'm ready to color. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take either my black crayon or my Sharpie or my black Crayola marker, and I'm going to outline just so I can get things to stand out. And I'm just going to nice and outline everything just like that, all right? And I'm going to keep going and going and going. And you can see how nicely it stands out when I outline it, all right? Now, the pigeon color is kind of like a blue-gray, but I don't have a blue-gray crayon. So I can do two things. I can just color my pigeon a nice gray color like this, what I'm doing. And I wanted to, like I said before, I wanted to really think about what I didn't want my pigeon to do before I started outlining, even before I started to draw. Because if I would have colored in my pigeon all gray, I wouldn't have been able to put in all these splatter marks on my pigeon with this paint. So you want to think ahead, really, before you really start drawing and coloring. So I am just going to continue to color my pigeon, and I like to color, I don't know if you can see this, but when I'm coloring, I'm kind of moving my crayon in a circle, and that allows me, little circles, that allows me to have some nice control over my crayon while still putting down lots of color. And it also makes sure that it allows me to make sure I don't press too hard or too light. I just feel like I have better control. But you color the way you want to color. Just try to do your very best coloring. All right. So there's my pigeon. And if I really wanted to, what I could do is I could find a blue color, and I could kind of go very lightly over the top to kind of make that blue-gray color, but that's up to you. Because with like many art materials, you can mix colors with crayons, you can mix them with markers, you can mix them with colored pencil. But friends, I'm going to leave that up to you. All right? I'm just barely touching with the blue crayon, and it just gives it a little nice tinge of blue, just like the pigeon in Mo Willems' book. Anyway, I wanted to complete my drawing like I did here with a background. Maybe I'll make a window here so that it's not just one big blank white space, okay? I really just like to fill the space and make it interesting for people to look at. That's one of my goals as an artist. So you can, I'm going to erase this line. You can try to do the same thing if you want to, or not. It's up to you. I'll put a little sun up here. Maybe some clouds in the sky. Anyway, it also gives me a chance to color some more things. So, create your pigeon drawing. Put him in some kind of predicament. Don't let the pigeon bake because he will break all of the eggs. Don't let the pigeon paint because he will make a mess. Friends, I can't wait to see what your idea is. Please take a picture of your final project and send it to me in Google Classroom or to my email address. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.